There comes a time when we hit a breaking point and a realization. Something must change. But what and how do we know? We know through the immersion that this is what we need to do. The immersion comes, that's when you're going to hear it. When the soul cries. When it cries, it rarely makes a sound that anyone else can hear. It happens in the silent moments, the quiet, right at the point when you go numb, when life has taken a heavy toll and your mind stops trying to solve it. That's when your heart stops reacting the way it once did. Not because you don't care, because you cared too much for far too long. And then there is a following of a stillness that comes in everywhere. And it looks as almost if it's on a movie screen where time, places, things around you move in lag pieces. Something's missing, off. A strange pause inside your body happens, as if something inside of you has stepped back to observe what your life has become. You may feel it physically, and something like as subtle as tingling moving through you, from your head, through your body, down through your feet, a heaviness in your chest. And for a lot of you, you felt a pull downward that seemed as though a string or a cord was tied to your heart and pulled you to the ground. Regardless of how long ago it was, there was that point where you sit and wonder, what is happening to me? And you may be feeling it again if you already went through it, but not for the same reason. The soul has something to say to you. The deeper than that question is a knowing. Something inside of you has reached its limit. You can't do it anymore. You're sending signals out to your soul saying, wake up, help me. The recognition, this is the moment most people misunderstand. They think they're breaking, that they are literally falling apart, losing themselves in something they can't figure out. What used to work doesn't. Why is it changing? So many questions. But what is actually happening is far more precise than that. This is the soul no longer willing to live in what the body has been tolerating for too long. Too long. And when this point is reached, the soul speaks. Not with words, but with sensation. It speaks with exhaustion, with a soft withdrawal from everything that once felt normal. You begin to see things differently, feel differently. Even time itself feels different. And you realize something you may have suspected all along. The soul is real. And the soul is you. Not the personality you present, not the role you've played throughout your life, but the deeper presence inside of you, way deep, that has been watching everything unfold, absorbing everything that is needed to gain any knowledge out of any situation. Wisdom. Aquarius, you saw more than you admitted, not because you were blind, because you were patient. You were observing, studying the shifts that were going on, and you were hoping some clarity would come in before the detachment happened. But now something inside of you has gone silent itself, and that quietness is telling you more than the noise ever did. The soul is speaking to you and asking for you to listen. To all souls, there comes a point in every life where pretending takes more energy than truth. It takes more energy than acceptance. Where staying in this situation requires more strength than actually leaving. And that's a big clue. And your soul will be speaking to you. The soul will pull inward, pulling on you in these different ways that we've already described, reassessing and reclaiming your inner strength, wisdom, and confidence. Preparing you for something new, even if your mind hasn't seen this new. In the background, underneath, subconsciously, you are creating and working within. Scorpio, you felt it long before it surfaced. You knew in your body. You knew it in your sleep. You knew in the subtle changes that no one else noticed. But you held it inside, trying to analyze it, sort through all of it, and transform it without being seen, heard, or recognized. But Scorpio, some endings are not meant to be transformed, only acknowledged, only learning and then being released. Will you hear the soul stop crying? To all souls, there is often a moment where everything seems to stop. You move through your day, speak when needed, you respond when you have to, but inside there is distance. It's not emptiness, it's actual distance that you're feeling, as if your soul moved into a different area to observe and consider this other path for you, diving deeper into it, so you can move forward in life. Pisces, your heart began grieving before the final words were ever spoken. You felt the shift in tone, the subtle withdrawal, that unspoken truth in the room, and still you remain kind. Soft, present, even while breaking apart inside. You remain there. Your soul is asking you to offer that same compassion you gave to them, but this time give it to yourself. It's time for you to give back to you. To all souls, when the soul cries, it is not asking for chaos and it's not asking for drama. It's asking for honesty. Honesty about what no longer fits, what no longer nourishes you, what no longer feels aligned with who you are today. And this isn't just people, this is places, things, possessions. It's everything that you have been reviewing. Capricorn, you kept going longer than most would. You held structure where there was none, and maintained a responsibility even when your spirit was completely exhausted. But it's important to remember, strength is not measured by how long you endure what hurts you. Sometimes strength appears at the moment you admit something must change. Cancer, you held the emotional weight for everyone involved in the situation. You did everything you could to try and keep the peace. You tried to keep that connection and keep the love alive. Even when it wasn't working, you continued to pour your energy into it to revive it. It was not being returned in the same way. Now your soul is asking you to hold yourself with that same devotion. Keep the connection within and be with people who connect with you. A transitioning into a new direction something is definitely shifting, not only within you, but it's here on my channel. It's here with everybody who is listening. Less noise, more truth. More of what we feel but rarely say out loud. And these are the moments we begin to understand ourselves in a very deeper way, but not through predictions, through recognition. Bringing all you've acquired back into the picture and remembering your unique gifts and using them in a way that masters your inner light and darkness. When the soul cries, it is not the end of you. It is the end of what you can no longer carry without losing yourself. It is the end of taking on someone else's responsibility and taking it on as your own. It's the end of what you refuse to be a part of anymore. When the soul cries, listen to it. Sit and be with it. Allow the silence to reveal what comes next. Because on the other side of that silent breaking point is a version of you that no longer lives on autopilot. A version of you that lives from truth. A version of you that wants to appear this year. And once a soul is heard, it does not need to cry the same way ever again.